Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Welcome to But Am I Wrong? A podcast where we two people who have not once ever been wrong talk about if we have been wrong, if you've been wrong, and who's wronged us in the world.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Both of us are having...
I know. Weird throat days. It's all the teabag.
Y'all don't get that little joke because...
We cut it out. We just talked about teabagging for 5 minutes.
But yesterday was Coco's birthday.
Oh my God, Coco, happy birthday.
She's not listening to this because I said I'll edit it because it is your birthday weekend. But people go wish Coco a happy birthday.
Please go wish Coco a happy birthday. And if anyone is like, what Coco, that name sounds so familiar. You might remember her from the did we post that?
What?
Did we post the episode? Did we on camera talk about how Coco thought you were a lesbian?
I think so, yeah.
Because I hope to God, let us know if we did. I'm like pretty sure we put that in the episode. But it's literally one of the funniest things fucking ever. And as soon as Melissa started telling me the story, I immediately went, Coco thought she was a lesbian. Like it was so clear. I went, and I don't blame her because that sounds like you're a lesbian. Like it fully was, it was so fucking funny. But yeah.
And then she was like, I just thought you were repressed for so long.
And so she thought Melissa was lesbian for a long period of time while editing, and hearing Melissa just talk about like sucking dick and coughing, going like, damn, she like really is leaving a full double life. Like she has a girlfriend. Like that's crazy.
A crazy ex-girlfriend to be exact.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, actually, she was telling me about what she was doing for her birthday. And I said, fill in the blanks, where I was making a jokey joke, and I say blank are bad for you, or I'm just making a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then she responded with, so are men, and you still do those.
Yep. And I'm sitting back down.
Right.
And
I said,
she got me right. You got me there.
And I said, I wish I could quit.
Yeah. It's terminal, unfortunately. Yeah. That's
so now funny. That she knows that I'm not a lesbian,
she can make fun of you for being straight. She goes, well, now that I know that you're not gay, well, let's make fun of you for being straight.
Yeah.
As she should. And it's well within her right. Oh, so funny. Well, happy birthday, Coco. You're not listening to this, but we adore you. We couldn't do this without you.
Couldn't.
No. And we've got 3 segments in this show. We will explain each one of them before like the respective segment, so you don't get too overwhelmed. But what you really need to know is that we want your participation. We obviously want you to listen to this episode. You could watch it on Patreon, the video version, but also we want your thoughts and feelings and insight. So we do post every topic we talk about. We post as an Instagram story, and you can vote on who you think was wrong in each part. And then that lives on there in the highlights. So you've got 24 hours from the time that goes up to vote. And then we also ask that you write in about why you voted the way you did, why you think that way, or why you feel that way. Sometimes it's because you are the person who originally had written in, or you know more about it than we do, or you just have like a hot take, thoughts or feelings. You can literally like echo exactly what we've said, or you can have a totally different outlook than us. That's fine. We respect all of the opinions unless they're bad. And then we read them aloud on our See You Next Tuesday episode.
Great job, Megan.
Thank you.
So should we get into our first segment?
Let's do it. Our first segment is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch to the other party, M to M. No.
Muff to muff.
Yeah.
Mouth to mouth.
Exactly. Muffin to muffin. Moo to moo. Moo. I forget every other word that starts with M. Yeah. Meep to moop. And we.
Moody to moody.
We're just making noises. And we will either give a rant, a hot take, or something that's like happened in our life recently that we want to know if we're in the wrong about. And yeah, I think I go first.
No.
You go first.
I go first. And first, I would like to welcome everyone to Christian Girl Autumn.
Oh, so happy to be here.
I wore a sweater to commemorate it, but it looks red on camera, but it's orange in person. And I don't like that.
Like you are going to perform in a bell choir like Winston and New
I know.
Girl.
It's orange. And I don't know why it looks red.
It looks so Christmas.
But anyway, I'm going to share my autumn hot takes.
Damn, you must have written this fast.
Well, I've been marinating it in my own personal life. So.
Oh yeah, we've heard. We've heard.
You've heard. So, first of all, as I've said numerous times, fall does not start this year. It started on September 22nd. So therefore, we do not do fall things until September 22nd. Just because school has started, that does not mean that it is fall. And if you buy into that, you know what that is? Capitalism. Because they do their little back to school sales when it's still hot outside. Kids do not want to put on their fall clothes yet. Nope. It's just a way for them to get you back in the store in a month. Okay? Let your kids wear their summer clothes so that and then you don't have to be mad when they come home and they're in their new clothes and they're all sweated out and dirty. And you know why? Because they were hot. Okay. Soup.
What a transition.
Soup.
So intense.
If soup is not hot, it's salsa. And you can tell your fiance that.
Hey, I literally told him, I said, this pico de gallo is delicious. And he said, that's gazpacho. And I said, it's tomato. It's the same thing. It's delicious. But I also
summer,
love pico de gallo.
I have some in my fridge right now to go on top of my eggs. In the summertime, we have pico de gallo. In the fall time, we have soup. Know the difference.
Yep.
Also, fall and Halloween are two separate entities. And like I said, fall starts on September 22nd. Let fall have its week before you start talking about Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween talk can start on October 1st. If you put up, and I accuse Meghan of this too, if you put up something that has a white sheet over it before October 1st, you are endorsing the KKK.
Melisa, remember, That didn't go outside. That was in the privacy
so
of my
you're
own
doing
home. It
your
was preparing.
KKK in the privacy of your own home?
Exactly. And then it turns October 1st, and those little scary little white hoods, they turn into ghosts.
Yeah. Okay.
It was inside. Yeah,
okay. What we do behind closed doors, Megan. Okay. I got you. Pointy hat member.
Okay. If you're in the Patreon, you understand. I was putting lights and ghosts. I just need people to understand where they're like, holy shit. And if they're not watching and then like they think we're just two white girls joking about one of them being in the KKK, like, no. I have ghosts. I have ghosts.
First of all, I'm not white. That's what I want to clear up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I am a strong black woman.
If they hear two white girls going, you're in the KKK, and they're giggling, like, no. That I bought ghosts. And also, I said in the live stream that I was going to make them myself, but then I was just buying white sheets. And like the process, I was like, I don't like that. So I bought pre-made ghosts. Okay. You can't separate the white sheet from the fucking ghost eyes. And I was preparing them with lights and they did not go up yet.
Good.
It's too fucking hot.
As I've been saying.
No, it's so, you guys, I don't think you understand. We're still in the 90s. It's so.
Over here, we're in the 70s. I had my heater on today. The space heater, not the full house. Not the full house heater, but like I was so cold this morning when I woke up.
Truly fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's so hot. It's not fair.
All right, next. Pumpkin spice, anything. It's not for me. It's not of my culture. As I just said, I'm a strong black woman. But, I'm more of a sweet potato girl. But at this point, calling somebody a basic bitch or just basic is a slur. You hate women. Just say that. Just let women enjoy what they enjoy. So, if you want to be a white woman with your pumpkin spice, cool. And even if you are not white and you're drinking a pumpkin spice and I call you a white woman, just know I mean it in solidarity.
White woman, parentheses, not negative connotation, not saying positive connotation,
right?
But
it's just connotation.
Yeah, just connotation. See, white. It's a hyperlink. Okay, sorry, continue.
Other than, I'll give it 3 exceptions. Pies are for the summer. Cobbler is for the fall. And some people think that pie and cobbler are the same thing. They're not. A cobbler needs to have a thick, hearty top. Mm-hmm. A pie is more fruit forward. A cobbler is everything has soaked into the nice, hearty top, and you're enjoying that biscuity, gooey goodness. And it's real filling. Like, that is what you need in the fall time. Like,
I'll take both. It's about really what dish do you have? Do you have a casserole dish or do you have a pie pan? I'll take whatever variation. But I've seen
people make pies in a casserole dish.
I'm not okay with that.
I'm not either.
I'm like not okay with that. Because that's
like, I need drops of clumps.
Yeah. It's like biscuit. It's like chicken and gravy. Like, it's like biscuit. Like,
it has, the biscuit has to soak in.
Yeah.
And I should be like grating my tongue on the top of the roof of my mouth. And it's so sticky and gooey and sweet.
I should be chewing like, oh, but you're making me hungry.
I had some peach cobbler earlier.
Oh, that's why you can get into this without any ramifications.
I will argue that peach cobbler that I had earlier, a little too thin. They said it was a peach cobbler. A
little too thin?
And it was a pie. And that's where this came from.
Jail.
Barbecue is a year-round food. You are setting a fire outside. Therefore, if it's cold, you can take that meat outside and warm your little hands over it. We can have barbecue whenever. When I say barbecue, I do not mean grilling. I'm talking about ribs, mainly. Ribs.
I didn't realize that people viewed that as like a summer food until
they do. They're like grilling in the summer.
Yeah, like we will get like my favorite thing to get in the winter is like takeout barbecue because I'm like,
yes,
it's so cozy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat it any time of year.
Mac and cheese on the side. Mashed potatoes.
Barbecue with mashed potatoes is grossly underrated.
When a little bit of barbecue just hits the side, or a little bit of mashed potato gets on the side of your rib,
and you go, I'm not going to knock that off.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Fuck. This really is making my dense bean salad not hit as hard.
And then lastly, this is specifically for Halloween. Men are not allowed to wear full mask. You're already scary enough.
Oh, okay. Like over their head. I agree with that.
They can put a little
Scream,
eye
Pennywise.
coloring. No, not Scream or Pennywise.
No, I'm saying that those were men.
Yeah.
And then they decided let me up the scare factor. I'm already scary existing as a man.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can cover your eyes like a little Zorro mask. That's it.
Yeah, a little masquerade mask.
Yeah.
I prefer one with a stick so you immediately
because you can drop it. If I need to.
If I hit your hand, it falls away.
Yeah. So
if I need to identify you rapidly.
Mm-hmm. And those are my thoughts.
I support you. I love all of that. And yeah, I stand with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into mine.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
And we're back, and it is time for my rant/hot take. And it's a rant. And my thesis statement is that words have meaning. And, every so often, a new word people will hear, and then suddenly everything is that word. Everything relates to that. And people will say oh, gaslighting, it's getting watered down. People are using it in the wrong way, or weaponized incompetence, whatever that is. I will say that it does kind of seem historically that people have been oh, we're overusing these words. And specifically, they tend to be words that women are able to use against men about toxic and bad relationships and circumstances. But the one I would like to nominate, the word of the week, is doxing. I have seen so many TikToks and so many posts on Reddit of people going this influencer just doxed me. This influencer just doxed this person. This is so fucked up. And you look and you see, and they posted a screenshot of a message that they got from somebody. And that person may or may not have. There's this one, I don't even know. I'm not sticking up for this person or what they did. I don't even know what they did specifically, but fundamentally, doxing has a meaning. And if someone shares your username after you sent them a nasty message, that's not doxing. That's not doxing. If someone shares your bio or the link of your sorority that's in it, or your job or your name that's attached to that, that's not doxing. It's not. And if people want to get into the nitty gritty of the gray area, because doxing is a combination of sharing private information on a public platform and then the malicious intent behind it to worry for people's safety or whatever. So anyone will argue, oh, well, people's phone numbers are public information or their addresses are public information. then if you are sharing that, knowing that that is an unsafe thing that they have not themselves put forth on the internet, that you find from stalking and looking back and all of that kind of stuff, then we get into the intention there and the malicious intent. This could be dangerous for this person or whatever that is. And do they have a choice of having their phone number there or their address? And like, what are the reasonable assumptions of safety and like not sharing people's home addresses? Yeah, we can get into the nitty gritty of like, well, is that technically doxing because like it's yellow pages or whatever? But if you send something nasty to someone and they reply, I saw someone who they responded to a comment on TikTok with a video, like replied in a video comment, and someone said, "Oh my God, don't respond to this. That's doxing me." I'm like,
no,
this isn't an echo. You're not going to a cave and yelling, "Hello, hello," and like thinking that nothing's coming back out the other side. Like you can just shout words into the abyss, but like do that in your shower alone. It's not the internet at all. And like there are people on the other sides of it. So the idea of like you're allowed to dislike people, you're allowed to hate people, but like, and you're also some people do weaponize their platforms against other people or whatever that is. And like they should be aware of that. But that does not make it doxing. Because doxing is a real thing and it happens to people. And so like when you say that, oh no, this person responded to the public comment that I left on my public profile, that's just consequences, baby.
Yeah. I saw someone also post that they were getting doxxed. And then I looked into it and I was like, what actually happened? Where's the doxing?
Yeah.
Please bring it forth because this is not doxing.
I don't know why. I've seen like 10 things like this in the last like
I think
2
it's
weeks.
Just catching on to people just not standing by what they say and then trying to find some way to go after somebody else because of what their response to something.
Yeah, because most of the time people who like say shit to people who have large platforms, they don't think they're going to see it. Like a lot of people like immediately backtrack once like if you respond or whatever.
Yeah, it gets some traction.
But yeah, now instead of doing that and like having the tail between your legs and immediately be like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. It's turning into look, see, confirmed they're a horrible person. They're weaponizing their platform. They're doxing me now. And I'm like, no, that's not how that one works. It's just not. And yeah, I want us to all remember that words have meaning.
You also have meaning.
Thank you. I was gonna say the same thing when people say inclusivity goes both ways. And words have meaning because it does. Because inclusivity just means both ways.
Included.
Not included here. And then other ways included here. Inclusivity is just the whole pie. Confused with your ugly fucking blush. Now don't disagree with me, guys, or I'm gonna dox you.
All right, now we're gonna get into But Are You Wrong?
And But Are You Wrong is where you, a listener, a viewer, you write in with a circumstance or situation you have found yourself in that you would like to know if you are in the wrong about. So we will deliberate as a jury. We will come together and we will give you the sentence. Sometimes we agree on our sentencing. You're wrong. You're not wrong. Sometimes we disagree. And sometimes there's caveats. But we will serve it to you. Oh, and if you want to write them in, submit them to...
Is that Brace Girl?
Yeah. Submit them to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Keep them under 300 words. It is all anonymous, so we do ask that you use pseudonyms for people. And if you are going to, you do not have to, like, unless you're a creative writing major, like, don't take this task upon yourself to assign everybody names from like different characters of a fandom or whatever. It has to relate to it. Otherwise we will read into it too much, or one of us or neither of us will get it. And like if you're trying to be subliminal with that, it can be a little difficult. So either really think it through or don't do it at all like that. But we do need to know how old you are, because you have to be 18 or over, have your parents' permission. And it's helpful for us to know how old everybody else is in this situation, because that helps us determine if you are wrong or if they are wrong. And finally, you can include your pronouns if you want, but you also don't have to.
I'm Melissa. I am 18 years old. And my pronouns are she, her.
She is 18. I'm I did one of those TikTok filters and it said like, guess your age. And like, they're all random. Like, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
I was 11. And I was like, I was wearing no makeup sitting on the toilet. And I was like, 11? I wish you should have seen me at 11. 11-year-olds shouldn't look like that. No. That was transition lenses. That was gauchos.
Gauchos were of the time.
They were, but like, would you also say that?
Wait, were they?
No,
No,
rainbow
they
thigh-high
weren't.
toe socks, and then, you know, Timberland. No, it wasn't Timberland. Who was it? Whose boots with the fur? T-Pain?
Flow Rider.
Really?
I think. Right?
I don't think so because Mott's hates
Yeah.
him.
That's Flow Rider. T-Pain is featured in it, but it is
Oh, okay.
Flow
So I
Rider.
saw an interview with T-Pain then. Because
Okay.
I was like, I swear to God, I have not heard Flo Rida speak in years. And I was like, but I know this man. It was T-Pain. He was saying that when it was written, he was like, I meant Uggs. And I was like, oh, unfortunate for me because I had Fugs at the time.
What did you think he was talking
No.
about?
I'm just saying that like for my fashion sense, I was wearing my gauchos, my rainbow thigh-high toe socks, and I had like lace up, like knee-high brown and like fur accent boots.
Okay.
Yeah, and a poncho.
And were
and
you
glasses
hot
and a
all
tiara.
the time?
I used to run really cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't wearing this in the summertime, though.
No, I was wearing this to school. This is my academic outfit to show people I meant business.
The first month of school is the summertime, so.
Yeah, no, then I was probably, it's a good question. I don't really remember much of my summer outfits because I remember most of the ones that had most items, and that was a lot of layering in the colder months.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break.
Woo!
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to See You Next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
We are back.
All right, well, here we go. Am I wrong for thinking I have been left out? I recently graduated this May with a film degree, and in my last semester, I took a class where I made a short film with a group of 8 other students. We spent 5 very long but fun months working on it. I would say we all got pretty close in that time, like always making plans to hang out multiple times a week. We each had designated roles we applied for. I was the director of photography, DP. This is something I want to pursue post-grad and have been actively trying to find jobs that allow me to do this. One person from that group, who is an upcoming senior, is doing an independent study where she is making a short film and has asked us to come back and help. She was also my assistant camera on our short film, so we worked together a lot. But I later learned that the position she wants me to do is equivalent to a PA role and taking some BTS photos. Everyone from our original group has main roles within her project, DP, gaff, editor, etc. Our short film was my first ever major role experience, and I admit that I made some mistakes along the way. I feel like that is probably why I wasn't given a different position. I want to help her out with her film though, because she was such a great help to me before. but I can't help but feel like I am not valued in the way others in the group am. Am I overthinking? Is this just life and I need to suck it up and move on? I know I can't get every opportunity that comes to me, but I really want someone to take a chance on me.
Is
Well,
she not DPing it?
Unfortunately, we are in the same industry and this is life.
Yeah.
If you don't toughen up now, then you're going to be in for a lot of heartbreak down the line. And I'm guessing since she is your AC, which is assistant camera, then would she not want, if this is her project, she probably wants to DP it, correct? Is that her job or did she get somebody else? If she is directing or producing it and have somebody else doing it, maybe they align more with her creative vision. Not every DP is the right person for that job. Everybody has a different eye. Everybody has a different way of working with each other. So just because y'all are working on this, then that does not mean that you are the right person for the job. Also, like, you're still taking pictures, so you're still doing camera work. And I do think you're overthinking it. And you're going to have to take PA roles. Like, you're not just going to get a DP job right out of school. You're going to have to take PA roles. So might as well learn now when it's low stakes before you get on a professional set.
I was just about to say that. I was like, this is honestly the best thing that she could do for you is give you a test run of doing PA stuff when you've already graduated school. Because like doing PA stuff while you're still in school and like you're still learning, you have that mindset versus when you've graduated, like you are like, okay, I've worked my way up. I've done all that. You're starting over again. Mm-hmm. And so kind of having that experience, like Melissa said, when the stakes are a lot lower is far better. It's easy to be a bad PA. It's hard to be a really good PA. And if you are a bad PA, you're not going to get hired for other jobs and you're not going to get hired to get to what you actually want to do. You can't be a bad PA and then be a great DP. Like it just doesn't happen that way. But if you can get really good at this, and that is actually going to be the most marketable skill you have. If you show up on the day at on a professional set, not a student film, like if you're, it doesn't have to be a big network. It could just be any larger production and you are crushing it as a PA, that matters so much more than if you went to film school or what you made in film school.
Yes. Being a PA is your key to everything. Like it unlocks so many doors because when you're a great PA, people are going to come to you because they know that you don't want to stay a PA forever. PA is an entry level job. Too. So they're going to come up to you and be like, hey, so like, what are your plans? And then, then they'll take you over to the camera part because you don't want to go to the camera department and just start asking questions. They'll introduce you to somebody in the camera department and then they'll, kind of show you the ropes. And then next time you might be AC on the next film or they'll have you come shadow or something like that. So like be the best fucking PA there is. I remember every good PA that I've ever worked with. And I've also offered them other jobs when they've arose. And they weren't PA jobs.
The good PAs I've worked with, I've never not told anyone. I've told production, I've told producers, I've told above the line. Like I would sing their praises to them. I would talk about how great they are. And then they would come back. They would get more. They would do all of those kinds of things. And like that, having that relationship and being good at that is a skill that you have to try at. And like, it can be taught. Like I do believe you can be taught to be a great PA. It's not necessarily a natural instinct, but you do have to learn how to be good at that role because 90% of the people that you're going to meet on a set, not people who are in the big offices who are never showing up and working on sets, 90% of the people you are going to meet on a set did that job.
Yep.
They already did that. And so they know what it's like to mess up doing that. They know what it's like to succeed doing that. They know what it's like to try and pay your bills doing that and like have a creative outlet while doing this kind of thing or whatever. And so you are with people who it's not like hazing in a fraternity where they're like, I had to go through hell, so you have to go through hell too. It's people who want you to succeed because they saw them, they were you not so long ago. And so removing the ego from that, like there can be no ego on set. Like it's just, there's no ego. You can't, you will get fired. You won't, It's not even like you won't get rehired. You will not come back the next day.
I literally, on the last set I was on a few months ago, we had a terrible PA And I went up to them and I said, we're good for the day. You can go home. And they're like, no, I can help. And I was like, no, we're good. Thank you.
Yep. The worst PAs I've ever had were like Nepo babies and like got hired because they were something. And it was a summer job or whatever that is. And like, it's such a huge marketable and transferable skill that I think like your style and your outlook of being a DP and like your vision and everything, I promise you by the time you get to do that again, will have changed exponentially from your senior thesis or whatever you did to like finish in the graduation process, because you're going to like learn and grow so much. And it's so much better to not get into this preciousness with your craft and honing and all of this, because you're not going to get that right off the bat. And if it's like, okay, cool, well, I want to get as much experience with that as possible because I know I'll inevitably have to do the PA stuff. That experience with love is for you. That experience is not for the people hiring you. That experience is not for anything like that. Like that, you will learn so much more by being on a set and doing the jobs and the positions that you also don't really want to fucking do. And this person did, like, you know what I mean? Like this is their moment. This is their time. And their project is not about you getting experience. Their project is not about fueling your reel or your career or whatever. Like this is theirs. And you said you even used the word, they helped you out. Now you're helping them out. It can't be about you. Hey, pretty ladies, it's officially October. So it's spooky season. I've been sitting on this since summer. My husband and I went on vacation to a known town in our state that's haunted. So I believe in all things paranormal. My husband does to an extent. He believes in spirits. Oh, he believes that spirits will possess him. That's feels like more than just an extent, okay? So I booked us at a very known haunted hotel. You're evil. Holy fucking shit. So I booked us at a very well-known haunted hotel and pretended I didn't know. He still doesn't know that I know that it was haunted. While he was on a smoke break, I talked to the hotel worker and she gave me the whole rundown, told me about the spirits that haunted the hotel and everything. I even met with a ghost hunter who was staying there. So now it's been a few months and I'm wondering if I'm wrong for not telling him. I know he'll be pissed, but I feel bad that I've gone this long without saying anything. Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, why does he need to know?
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
He didn't get possessed. That's the only reason he would need to know if he got possessed and he needs to get that thing.
Is he possessed? What, you tell us. How's his behavior?
Yeah, but if he got possessed and you need to do an exorcism, that's the only reason he needs to know about this. If nothing happened.
If it's a well-known town that everyone knows is haunted and you went on vacation there, why would this one hotel be the not haunted part of this haunted town?
I feel like a lot of times with these haunted things, it's well known to people that are into haunted stuff. Like,
okay, if he thinks he's going to get possessed,
he's like, no, I don't believe in ghosts.
Does he know the town was haunted?
Maybe he doesn't.
If he doesn't know the town was haunted and he doesn't know, I want to know how much is he smoking? Because how were you able to meet with a ghost? Do all of these haunted activities?
How long was he out for his smoke break?
Because I'm like, if he had no idea that the town was haunted, no idea the hotel was haunted, and you're meeting with ghost hunters, you're getting the whole fucking lore, the whole story and all of this. How are this man's lungs? Like, what? Like, maybe he starts getting possessed. You go, you're actually just smoking too much.
Yeah.
Because if he knew that the town was haunted, okay, then why wouldn't this hotel be haunted? Like, then duh. But if he had no idea, did you like book a haunted trip that he had no idea he was going on a haunted trip? And like, what did you hide?
It was just for you.
Yeah, what was the guys under? Where you're just like, you just gave him a huge pack of just like cigarettes, and then you said,
"Go have fun."
You hang up at the jacuzzi. So Mats and I am like, I believe in everything, because who the fuck am I to say no? That's not a thing.
And I want to get reeled by a goat.
She does. If you're new here, she's not kidding. And I'm definitely like can like pick up on vibe. Like I just, not to be that person who's like, oh, I'm like super in tune with vibes and energy. Like I'm an empath. No, I just know when something has a spooky vibe, I feel it immediately. And this is how I know that it is true. I don't just deal with it. I go, cool, I'm fucking out. It's a spooky and unsettling enough vibe that I go, no, it's actually time. That's my cue. I got to go. My Uber's here. Like I immediately exit. So we've done like, we toured one house in this area of LA and we got out of the car and I said, And he said, Moss was like, what? He's like, well, do one walk around. And he's like, maybe it's just like the street. You feel like it's a little eerie because there's not that many cars. And I go, no, something sinister's here. And then we walked through the house and it was like the same vibe. It wasn't like better or worse. And I was like, no. and we were driving out, and I was like, got to a certain point, and I went, okay, we're good now. But like, this was fucking weird. Looked it up. Huge massacre. Thousands and thousands of people had died. And I was like, cool, that checks out. We went to this place called Gallup. I couldn't tell you what it's in. Arizona, California. There's a Sonic. I know that. And Arizona. We arrived driving and immediately pulled up, and I said, oh no. Oh no. And Maud said, I'm getting that vibe that you got at that house. And I said, yeah, this fucking town is haunted. But I don't even think I said that to him. I think we said it, scratch that. We go to Gallup. I'm feeling like this place is haunted. This place is spooky ooky. I'm getting the creepy crawlies. There is eeriness afoot here. And not like active, like, oh, I feel unsafe. No. I feel that this town was built on the history of this is feeling heavy and deep and like spooky. And we like go to Sonic, and I'm like keeping my mouth shut, and like Mons was like, I'm gonna go out to the car, and I was like, well, I hope he comes back. Like I was like very much like, I'm waiting for a poltergeist to just snatch him out. Like it was spooky ooky. I did not enjoy it. We did, and I think Mons was kind of feeling somewhat similarly because he did suggest that's when we watched Charlie's Angels, the remake, for the first time, and I said this movie is fantastic, 5 stars. And as soon as we were leaving, we got out of that town limits, and I turned to him and I said, so I looked it up. That town was incredibly haunted. But I told him that same day, just immediately as we had exited.
Yeah,
so I think
but you also didn't purposely go there.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you check the vibe and you go, uh-oh, we have to spend the night here. We are on a long road trip, and we both agree that the vibes are off. You're the only one who's Googled it. And you're like, I'm not going to share that information with my partner until we are out of city limits. But I'm not going to go to a haunted place, let this man be tormented, and then months later go, yeah, it was haunted. Because I'm sure if he had felt some type of way about this, you've been reassuring him forever long of being like, oh, don't worry, honey. No, there's no reason. And this does make me think there is a certain subset of people who like horror, who are the people who like jumping out and scaring people because they like to see people terrified because they think it's funny. And I do fear that you are one of those people because now you want to see his reaction to now knowing that it was haunted. And that is fucked up.
Maybe the way that you do it is if you are just so raked with guilt, you just casually bring it up like, yeah, when we stayed at that haunted hotel and then blah, blah, blah. Like, it has to be so casual. And then he's like, what? You're like, what?
And then you gaslight him and being like,
I mean, they had signs up in the hotel.
You can't be that guilty then. I just think like if this guilt was eating you alive, you'd use way less exclamation points in your message.
Oh.
Don't tell him. Shut your lips. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe ghost will come cut your tongue out.
Merry Christmas, everybody! My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody! Let's go!
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the magical millennial.
And I'm the dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
It's time for... No, we're back, and it's time for But Are They Wrong, where we nominate a person, place, or a thing in pop culture, current events, in the zeitgeist that deserves a public shaming. And don't let me forget, before we get to mine, I have an update on an old one of mine.
Okay. All right. Mine is weird.
Okay.
Very
Mine's
weird.
weird too, but I have a couple options in case you do mine.
Very weird. I don't know if you heard of mine.
Okay.
Author Jack Schubarth of Vaughan, Montana.
Say that last name again. I loved how you just said that.
Schubarth.
Yeah, it was good.
Of Vaughan, Montana. And I'm nominating him for his sheep cloning ring. Is that what you picked?
Yes. Melissa, my outlook was so different. My outlook was, I don't know who to nominate for this because someone has to explain to me why cloning is so bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I will
explain it to me.
Okay, so let me give everybody the backstory. This past Monday,
I'll give them the image.
Okay, you can put it down. I don't know why, but I
doesn't
just
look
don't.
real.
I don't like the way they look. This Monday, past Monday, so a week from today that you're listening to this, if you're listening on Monday, this 81-year-old man was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison for illegally using tissue and testicles from large sheep to create hybrid sheep for captive trophy hunting in Texas and Minnesota. The U.S. District Court Judge Brian Morris said that he had a hard time coming up with the sentencing for this man because this is a unique case, and also his age and lack of criminal record were looked at. But he needed to be hard enough to deter anyone in the future from changing the genetic makeup of creatures on Earth.
I wonder if this man has ever seen Spy Kids 2, because I gotta say, that is the reason why I said, why is this so bad? Because that movie made it look pretty sick.
This Jack man, was fined $20,000. And also he was ordered to make a $4,000 payment to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Jack said he will work the rest of his life, which
isn't. I was like, shady. Love that guy.
Right.
I think he meant it earnestly, but I literally was like, lol, my man's got jokes.
He did not mean it earnestly. This man is trying to play the old man card. He said he would work the rest of his life to repair everything that he's done. His attorney, Jason Holden, said that cloning the giant Marco Polo sheep hunted in Kyrgyzstan in 2013 has ruined his client's life, reputation, and family, and this has broken him. This man was doing this for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how broken he is. He's broken because he got caught. So Sarah Brown, a U.S. Department of Justice attorney, said that Jack needed to be sentenced to prison for having an illegal breeding operation that not only included his home state, but other states as well, and endangered the health of other wildlife. The crime was forethought, complex, and involved many illegal acts. He violated federal and state law and international treaties. Plus, he and others illegally conspired to conceal their actions from authorities. So how broken is this man when he had so much going on? It was also argued that Jack was a hardworking man who always cared for animals and did something that no one else could have done in cloning the giant sheep, which he named Montana Mountain King. The Marco Polo sheep are the largest in the world and can weigh up to 300 pounds. This man sold semen from his beloved Montana Mountain King with hybrid sheep to 3 people in Texas, while Minnesota residents bought 74 sheep to the ranch to them to inseminate at various times. Offspring were sold for as much as $10,000. And they were sold in Alabama, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, Oregon, South Dakota, and West Virginia. He also paid a hunting guide $400 for testicles of trophy bighorn sheep, which is how he harvested the semen. The animals have been confiscated by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services and are being held in an accredited facility until they can be transferred to a zoo.
So we can see them.
So, but they're also being protected at the zoo. So the reason why this is unethical is because you have to draw the line. First of all, this is a protected species and it should have never been here in the U.S. And it also disrupts the wildlife that's already here in the U.S.
That part I totally get. But the thing that I don't understand is I think the worst part of this is he owns a 215-acre alternative livestock ranch, which buys, sells, and breeds alternative livestock, primarily for private hunting preserves, where people shoot captive trophy game animals.
That's
for
what
a
I was going to get up next.
And
is that he's also doing it as hunting for fun.
Totally, but that's not the illegal part. It's just the breeding of this one, and I'm like, it's just a little wild to me that I'm like, what? Where, truthfully, yeah, where is the line drawn in that?
There's also the line of like, if he knows how to do this in an animal, he can also do it for a person.
I do think this man has met way too many very, very profitable and very inventive skills that he might enjoy some sort of elderly STEM program.
Yeah.
Because like this is, they're not wrong that this took so much planning, forethought, like skill and stuff. And I was like, yeah, the issue is that the issue wasn't that the issue is that it worked. And the issue is that he did it.
Yes, it worked so many times without doing proper testing on an embryo. So if he was in a science lab, then he would have needed to do testing. But we also don't know if there were other tests that he did and then he killed a bunch as well.
Yeah, and he's breeding there's almost the ethics of like breeding things together. I don't know what the livestock thing is, because like for the AKC for dogs and stuff, like you have to meet certain requirements of like breeding based on organ size and body size on these two kinds of animals and stuff. And like the ethics of breeding, I don't know how involved like livestock is in like monitoring every single one, because I was gonna say that aspect of it is that like, you know, the breeding of anything, there's like an ethics question that comes up. And this, I know I made a joke. It really does remind me of Spy Kids 2. Because he's a scientist, and he like goes away to this like he's been cast off to this island, and he's like breeding to get like crossbreeding animals together. And the whole thing is like, well, where do you draw the line of the ethics of this? Like, you know, you're doing this with the same, all of these kinds of things. And like, it just kind of gets to like most mad scientist movies do, where it's like there is so much gray area that everything starts to feel gray, and it doesn't feel as black and white, even if things have been put in place there. But like once you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, it's like, it's not that people aren't doing what you're doing because it's unethical. They're not doing what you're doing because they haven't thought about it, because they're not smart enough to do it. And like there's so much ego enmeshed in it too, that like the whole aspect of it, like to me, feels inevitable, especially in like not in a lab kind of environment, like in a for-profit and hunting environment that you also probably know a lot of your customers too. Like there's just this aspect that like this breeds this, just there's no way you couldn't be like enjoying playing God, and that's going to eventually level up to like a insane level.
Right. So, but yeah. Enjoy your next 6 months in jail, I guess. I mean, honestly, he got a slap on the wrist. He really didn't even get anything terrible done to him.
The hybrid sheep that were fed and cared for, like it says, like he like treated that they were all fed and cared for, and then when they were slaughtered, the meat was donated to a food bank. So like there is,
but then like no one would have tested that meat because they thought it was just like sheep meat and not this protected animal meat.
Yeah, this part makes me laugh though, because I go, at the end of the day, it's always about the bottom line. He's not allowed to breed game stock during the 3 years he's on probation. Just the 3 years he's on probation. And will he live that much longer? Who knows? I think if you've done all of this,
he probably
I think you actually probably will, because I think you've probably done.
He looked. I saw a picture of him. He doesn't look old.
I had to do a double take. I went. But I was like, yeah, you definitely a little high on your own supply. Like you've finagled this a wee bit as well. But this, oh my God, wait, I'm so right. He said, I got my normal mindset clouded by my enthusiasm and looked for any gray area in the law to make the best sheep I could for the sheep industry. Yep. It's gray area. But yeah, that like at the end of the day, I'm sure he makes so much money, and also there's so much revenue. Yes, of course, if it's a lot for like hunting in private places, those things are expensive and all of that kind of stuff. But there are large tax breaks on farming land. There's all of these kinds of things that like it greatly benefits the state to have like cattle farmers in those areas. And so part of me thinks that they're like, okay, 3 years and then get back to doing your regular stuff. Like keep bringing the money. But again, the whole thing, like going to a private facility to hunt too.
Yeah, because that just, to me, that sounds like we want to hunt humans, but we can't. So
No, Melissa,
let's do this thing. And so he is like, he could probably figure it out if he wanted to.
No, that's exactly how I feel. That's like the whole mindset. There's a Criminal Minds episode that's like that. It's like fucking Westworld. Like I was like, that's the vibe that this gives. And so in order to make things more exciting and enticing, you crossbred together you did all of this kind of stuff to clone and all of these things to make this more exciting, when truly the fundamental problem is the fact that these places exist for this reason, and that anyone's breeding anything for the sole purpose
to hunt it
for sport, and like to pay to hunt it for sport, not because you're like living off the land or whatever. And like simultaneously, I'm sure you're taking up a huge amount of space. There's going to be casual, like all of this kind of stuff that I'm like, okay, he is a product of his own environment. And the environment, I think, is that large problem. But when I saw this article, I was like, there's no fucking way. How do you, like, what's his Google history look like? Because this man's old. Is he Googling? Is he going to the library?
Maybe.
It's wildly, wildly impressive. I can give you the update on my other one.
Okay.
And if we have time, I can throw in another little honorable mention. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but one of mine from, I don't even know if it was I think it was a But Am I Wrong? It was like, we got to figure out graveyards. This shit's fucking weird. There's too many people. We need to get better. And The Guardian posted an article saying graves could be reused under proposals to tackle lack of space of the dead. And law commissions also suggested reopening cemeteries declared full as a part of England and Wales consultation. So there's just obviously a lack of space, and basically saying that they could reuse all of these areas for burials, that all of these urban areas are fast running out of burial space, with most cemeteries already full. And the proposed changes would allow burial grounds to reuse graves, but only after public consultation and government approval. And it would be like safeguards. So plots would only be eligible if the last person was buried within at least more than 75 years ago. So like there are regulations, and their other ones are considering time frames of the grave use and what would happen if family members objected. But it obviously needs to be considered with the public and done in a way that's sensitive, experts are saying. But the proposal provides a significant opportunity to reform burial and cremation law and secure burial space for future generations. As of now, current legislation makes it illegal to redevelop a graveyard for any reason other than to develop a place of worship. Which, okay. And other publicly run cemeteries can be redeveloped if the owner granted an act of parliament. So this is obviously only in areas of the UK, but there is who is this one? There's a vicar in St. Anne's Church in West London saying he felt very conflicted. I have a graveyard that's full. I have a mausoleum that's full. There's no space. But I'm also aware that the dead protect these open spaces for the living. I'd be very, very nervous about reusing things to build on them. That's not what's being proposed, but it's going to go in that direction. It's an extraordinary administrative nightmare to move a gravestone. You may not be able to contact the relatives, but relatives may well have quite strong feelings about the loved one, and with the expectation that this is where they had been laid to rest. And it's like, I saw a post on Reddit, and like a large amount of people were like, oh my God, this is so fucked up. But then there were obviously the people like me who's like, okay, so then what's the other option? Yeah. Like the whole thing is too, it's like when you add a timeline of like 75 years or whatever, people are never going to stop being born. People are never going to stop dying. And so that is an endless need that we're going to need to meet. And the other part that I also think about is like, it's just about like, what's recorded in history at this point in time. Like before our first marked graves, there were people who died before that. There are people who died before that. There's all of this kind of stuff where I'm just like, this isn't a new dilemma or a new thing that like people have had to bury people or dispose of bodies in areas where there've already been disposals of this. But this is now that we have record of this, it feels like this is the first time anyone has ever been tasked with this conflict and like how to resolve it and how to solve it. And I'm like, it's not that we just ran out of space. Like this is, where do you think your houses are built? Where do you think the town square is built? Like everything is a graveyard. And now that we just have markers for it, woo, uh-oh.
Make me into a diamond.
Yeah. And like, not for
me into your veins.
Don't do that. I cannot imagine. I feel like it really congeal. Like, I don't think it'd be like smooth.
It's not my problem. I'm not there anymore.
Yeah. And you said, I hope this kills you too. See you up there, buddy. But like, yeah, there are like people who like live, like stories of people who like live across from graveyards and like all of that kind of stuff. And like the questionable health that they have, or just like other things with like, and they never talk about it. They talked about it during Katrina, but like not so much other places. I think we really need to solve this problem because global warming and hurricanes and flooding.
Bodies are coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, there are some people who have chosen a career in working with the dead. They, someone who works in embalming, a coroner's, funeral homes, whatever that is. I have explicitly not chosen that path in life. So I would rather task those people with making the best possible choice for their career and for their experience and everything. So we're not just putting it off until until the big earthquake comes. And now we all as civilians have to deal with the problem.
Yeah.
Well, that is it. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know if I know I don't want this man cloning sheep. But I don't know how I feel about cloning as a whole.
Okay.
People
have been cloning their dogs.
Yeah. Like, go for it. The sheep part, I just don't know why. I know that we want to protect all animals. That one was like so big and so scary. The idea of like, I am an 81-year-old man and I actually want 2 of these things. I could take me out with a single like hip kick. That's kind of a death wish.
Why? Yeah. So what an interesting, we talked about death in every segment.
I know. I can't believe when you were like, mine's weird. And I said, oh, mine's weird. And you said, there's no way we're doing the same one. And we are.
You're usually not as weird as I get.
I wanted to get weird. I wanted to get silly. Goofy goober.
Well, we're thinking about potentially doing some But Am I Watching in the coming weeks. So if you are in our Patreon, you can be a paid member or a free member. We're going to post and ask what people would like us to watch. I want to see. You said you already saw Hocus Pocus. I was really looking forward to that.
There's a sequel that I heard is horrible.
Yeah, it might be fun to watch, though.
I love bad movies.
Okay, we're going to do Hocus Pocus 2.
Have you seen Halloween Town?
I've seen Halloween Town.
Yeah. Excalibur's Revenge. Yeah, but send it in, and I cannot reiterate enough. No scary. No scary. Let me tell you what movies are scary. Disturbia, scary movie. The Shining, absolutely fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
The Boy Next Door, kind of fun. That's the J-Lo one.
Oh. J-Lo, she can't do scary.
J-Lo can't scare me. Not in the way that she thinks she can scare me.
No.
She can scare me in other ways. What other ones are like, would you say that's like not seemingly scary, but is scary?
Just anything that children cannot see. Don't send it my way.
Not spooky children. Like, and if you're a spooky kid and you're like, I watch this, you're a spooky fucking kid. And like, you don't count.
Jenny, no.
No. Mackenzie, no.
Don't even come over here.
No.
You keep your spooky vibes.
Erase,
there.
delete. Nothing fucking spooky. What about The Craft?
I actually love The Craft.
I've reblogged pictures of it from Tumblr from like years and I've never seen it.
It is scary. But I
like,
saw it as a kid.
Yeah, but they're also girls.
And I saw it a million times as a kid.
Okay, I love it.
Okay,
and I
we're watching The Craft then. We have to
ma-
watch The Craft.
I'm so down. But I also know the vast majority of our audience is women or girly pops. And I will also say that I don't want to watch a Halloween movie where there's no women.
Oh.
I just want, I hopefully that goes without
just
saying.
named that we said we wanted to watch with all women for it.
I want to watch the Goonies.
Goonies isn't even scary.
No, I know, but like they play it around Halloween.
Do they?
Maybe I'm bleeding in
Goonies
summer.
Is it
a summer movie?
I mean, it's like an adventure movie.
No, I know, but what season does it take place in?
I think summer.
Okay, so maybe I'm bleeding in together the end of September outdoor movie schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Goonies
there's like
is such a goofy movie.
Yeah, a very goofy Halloween. Maybe we can buy one of those. Max Goof. Okay, that's the end.
Did you have a crush on him?
I'm but a young woman. I'm so sorry. What did you expect of me? You expected me to just be a kid and not have the hots for Max Goof. Like, that's crazy.
I was just making sure.
Did you not?
Of course.
No, Melissa.
Who did it?
Who didn't? If you mean to tell me that there are some people who watched Max Goof and said, I feel nothing downstairs, I would go, and we're not of the same sexual orientation at this point. But like, Max Goof was hot.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, no. Dressed well. Charisma. Like, adorkable in the words of Zoe Deschanel.
I need you to watch, and I think I told you to watch this, but I know that Mott's would enjoy it too, the Atlanta's episode that's about the Goofy movie.
Which one?
Atlanta.
Oh, the Atlanta. I told him about it. Yeah.
Y'all should watch it because you don't have to see it has nothing to do with the rest of the show at all. All right. Well, we're actually done now. So follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Patreon, follow us on... Is there any other place they can follow us?
No, but go comment on the last Instagram post that we have and say who was your...
There's going to be a new one up by now.
Yeah. Did you fuck with Max Goof, or who was your preferred animated boyfriend of the time?
I like PJ. Aladdin's also a good one.
Aladdin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's so Love Island bro coded. Like, he's so like, you're going to break my fucking heart. I'm going to fuck around. No, I know, but like, he's young. We don't know.
He's rich.
Now, yeah. Well, no, here. Now, Aladdin, for sure. Back then, I would go, ugh.
No, I mean, after he turned into Prince Ali.
Oh, Melissa.
Ali
okay.
Baba.
Fabulous he. Fabulous he. Oh, God, I could watch that too. Okay, actually, goodbye.
No.
Oh, we'll
circle back.
But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Brennan Storr.
I'm Paul Bestall.
We're the Ghost Story Guys.
And every 2 weeks, we explore first-person stories of encounters with the paranormal from all around the world.
Then we have some fun reacting to those stories. We like to say our goal is to scare the hell out of you, then make you laugh.
Belief in the paranormal is not required. All you need is a love of great storytelling and curiosity about the world around you.
Subscribe to the Ghost Story Guys now on your favorite podcatcher to hear episodes like High Strangeness in Chicago, The Mystery of Missing Time, and The Haunting of Vietnam, along with dozens of others.
We've talked about mythical bridges, doppelgangers, haunted seaside towns, and so much more.
Remember that story about the guy who was trapped inside a dream and something was hunting him? That was upsetting.
Yes it was.
Want us to help ruin your sleep? Come find the Ghost Story Guys on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else fine podcasts live, or at ghoststoryguys.com.